Hello, hi. Before I go to the few or I will first begin with the points. All right, for then my depictions of Venus, goddess of love, because I was asked by source to depict Venus myself, and then Fortuna myself will follow. All right, and that sets the stage for a song with dance. Okay, so first point is we were driving through Arthur Fergus, Dearton, Durham, etc., and to go to Williamsford, where the great books. I've mentioned great books before, right? This is this big rambling mansion with books all around and a great eating place, and they have fantastic portobello mushrooms, not to mention fries, but tasty fries. But you can't overdo on fries when you're on a trip, right? I mean, yeah, I would like to, but it's just not fries. Shakespearean symbolism, because fries, he introduced it in, I think, Much Ado About Nothing. The French princess surviving on fry, coming in through the window and helping herself to some of the man, you know. But anyways, the serious point. All right, I got sidetracked because I'm all, Venus. I'm depicting Venus. So there you go, the Venus. So there were two Catholic churches near Williamsford, and my husband wanted to stop to buy liquor, beer, and a bit of wine. So and it ended up being two bottles of wine, but which we never drank, just a sip each, because we drank cocktails in the restaurant we went to. But he made I said the Bible Belt, right? I mean, because he said that they may not even sell liquor on Sundays. LCBO, which is a common liquor chain in Canada, at least this part, Eastern Ontario, but Eastern Canada. But and I thought this is the Bible Belt, right? And true to my observation, I see that there are Catholic churches and more. Sriram pointed out Lutheran. Other churches, one crossing where this sign said this one, this sign said this one, this sign said this one, and this. Lots of churches, the Bible Belt. Ontario prefers a conservative government to a liberal government, but sells liquor in grocery stores. We like that part about conservative governments. Brings us back to Phoenix days, when my husband would beat the clock, 11 o'clock, 11 p.m., 12 p.m., last six-pack out for mostly friends of my husband's. My husband, used to work hard. So did they. They all did. But they like to fool around a bit. They had part-time assistantships and that sort of thing. My husband had a full-time assistantship. So anyway, conservatives and... once I even saw, I've included this in an essay, in great books, people saying grace, holding hands. Here we are talking about Christian conservatives in the USA. I mean, being Republican, but look at Ontario. There are a lot of Christian conservatives. This part is a bit of a godless area, all right? You don't see churchgoers, but back in the days, there was Annie and Anna who used to go to church. I even gave a part right to Annie once and Anna once, because I had a leased car then. And I said, you need to make use of me and everything. Well, so small, short rides. So, but they used to go to churches, and the others, they do their bit. I mean, praying, of course. They are, we all like to think of a God who's who can be blamed, who can be praised, and that sort of thing, who's going to, as I said before, grant our wishes. So we like God. But, science and church and engineering and church, well, that's a whole different debate. I'll save it for an essay, all right? Going on, one more line. I had a beautiful 2 lines in an ice cream shop close by, because I went on Saturday and mailed a few letters and a few donations, and tax in Quebec is 14.5%, which brought me back to my days when I have shared this with you, when I went to Temiskaming, Quebec, to interview with Tembec, a pulp and paper company, and they had said that people live in North Bay. I flew into North Bay. I was picked up and driven down to Temiskaming, where, the morning I answered Tess, was given a salad for lunch, tasty salad by tasty looking gentlemen and got interviewed by serious folk. All right, all business. They meant all business. And so did I. All right, because I was serious about the interview. So I answered, and the test I answered seriously, just at the side after all these years. It was good. They brought me back to the airport, came back. But they had said, the gentleman who interviewed me, a lot of people like to live in North Bay to escape the heavy taxes in Quebec. So they live in North Bay, drive down to Temiskaming, which is right across the border there. But I never had a border check. Had I taken my passport? I can't remember. Maybe he showed something. Yeah, the gentleman showed something. Yes. So anyway, taxes on my April Cornell order. So anyways, I dropped by this ice cream shop, had natural sugar ice cream, tasty tallow crunch. And at my exiting line, there's a piano. I did this. Oh, it sounds good. The same principle for stringed instruments. My veena, and this way and this way. And it's nice and hot. He was a cute blonde guy, young guy, really young, for maybe a little younger than my son, or close to my son's age, maybe looks younger. My son is all working, So it's nice and hot, and we're all melting like ice creams. I love it, I said. But it's cooled off in Toronto. Yes, and then we went on a hike to Great Caves, etc. Harrowing experience. Do it at your own risk, etc. And I'll share it another time. Sahaba Beach, and I went to get chips. My husband, we went to the beach, and then we put chairs. My husband said, "Go get the chips in the car. We'll eat a few." And I go there, back to the parking spot, and I see a lady there, younger lady. And I opened the boot and said, "It's been a while since I drove this baby," because I'd forgotten how to open the boot. And I figured it out. And then the chips was in the back. And I said, "How are you doing, pal?" But, how about 23 years ago, I drove the Volkswagen Passat. It's been a while. How about 23 years ago? All right. So that's what I wanted to share. All right. Acknowledgement. Wait, first a second. First depiction of Venus, the goddess of love. This is Aphrodite. All right. Is the cat. All right. Aphrodite. And it's in Pompeii. All right, this is in Pompeii. This is in Pompeii, Aphrodite in Pompeii, and leaf-shaped a blanket or something. I've tried something with it. And hello, and all right, that's done. All right, and this is going to fix her. Sorry, give me a minute. And birth of Venus. Okay. Birth of Venus. This is a plate I got from Canadian Tire. It looks all Indian, steel. My husband, since my in-laws came, likes to eat in a steel plate. Birth of Venus by Botticelli, Roman civilization artist. And, she comes, she's nude though. Venus is always mostly portrayed as nude. Okay. Right. So I'm going to go in here. Oh, I'm scared. All right. And there we go. And my dress is all over, falling all over. And I am Venus. Clothed. But I have to bat my eyelids and seduce somebody. And then I'm the goddess of love coming true to form. Or, but I'm also an engineer, writer, artist. So I spoiled the whole thing. There we go. This plate is from Canadian Tire. The other plate is with the friends of ours. I baked a cake. So it's with them. And it's quite expensive. But it's a little big. So my husband never ate, but I made salad and things like that. Canadian Tire, Canada and snow and etc. So that way. All right. And then, okay. We go to, actually, Venus in the plate I should have done with, because she's depicted. Get something else, some other Venus look. Thought I should give, she's depicted as, or I'll do Fortuna, all right? Fortuna, right in front of you because I thought, editing that's too much of work for them, for YouTube. Um, this I got this idea from um, um, uh, Goodfellas, and Fortuna. Sure enough, Fortuna is in a whale, and the heroine in Goodfellas gets married to the real Liotta character, and she wears a whale. So here we go, and I'm going to be wearing a whale. Fortuna is in a whale, goddess of fortune. Okay, and closer maybe. Mhm. And there I am, goddess of fortune. The lady luck, goddess of fortune, and I pull out my veil this way. That is the Beyonce look. All right, part way, and a nice, stylish looking hat there. All right, so this is the Ray Liotta look, very bridal and that sort of thing. But this is Fortuna's look as well. All right, Lady Luck. So there, and then maybe I'll do it for Venus because I had made this for the Venus in our home, which is a Venus of Fleur, but it's not Venus de Mayo. All right, but I thought, and I made this, all right, because she's always portrayed as a nude goddess, right? So women who look to, people who fall in love, right? Well, goddess of love, love granted me love, should also do the kitchen, etc. Again, family, the arts and art, kitchen exercise, all right? Otherwise, a little bit of weight can happen. So for Venus, we give Venus the veil as well. But she's never being portrayed as, all right, I'll take this off. This is Fortuna only. Fortuna could all get upset. So this, and maybe, Venus as, and Venus as this. And she has her hair up in a knot, and side and this is another Venus look. So what should I do with the Venus? Another Venus look. Look, no six pack. Venus de Mayo has a six pack. All right, so this is a look. Just twirl around, and that's Venus look. All right, so this comes off, and or I sing as the Venus look. Maybe not. Maybe just as myself. All right, so this is a surprise song set to rock music, and sorry, I'll have to request. Acknowledgements. Pink Floyd. Edward J. Pointer for the title of his painting, The Dire Straits. Well, I'm going to begin with Dire Straits. Which song is this? The prophecy has come true. If Psyche, goddess of soul, never sold her soul to God, the protector and provider of earth, she asked him for help. If the serpents of evil tormented her soul and body, she asked him to slit her throat. and let her blood wash the sins of earth? Please, her last favor for earth. But she also asked her son to be given the same fate, for he was a good soul, innocent of the ways of the world. She asked him to protect her husband, for he never abandoned his soul, even if he sometimes did not feel his soul in her direction. What? Law and God, unquote, as Shelley said, put one above the other, and you are fucked, I say. Love and law are paradox. But I love law and feel love and desire. If law decrees the loss of love and marriage, it also condemns the waywardliness of law, but protects the faithful Psyche. In her temple of love, says to her husband, I love you more than ever. But can you leave me alone to enjoy my labors of Psyche and to reap the fruits of my labor? Psyche, in her wings with Eros, showing her the wings of freedom, liberty, and democracy, and sexual love, soars up to the skies like an angel of love to be granted her dearest wishes. Give a big hand of applause to our non-musician. Surprise CD again. Thank you.